Indonesia Raya. Tamu hadirin dipersilakan untuk duduk. You may be seated. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore dan selamat datang di press conference New Technical Advisor Timnas Indonesia. Senang sekali saya Paul Palele bisa sekali lagi bersama-sama Bapak, Ibu, serta rekan-rekan media untuk menyambut kehadiran dari New Technical Advisor Timnas Indonesia. Sudah bergabung juga bersama kami di sini. Selamat sore terutama untuk Ketua Umum PSSI Bapak Erick Thohir. Selamat datang juga untuk Wakil Ketua Umum PSSI Coach of Timnas Indonesia Patrick Kluivert and the team. Exco 1 PSSI Bapak Muhammad, selamat datang juga, dan yang pasti selamat datang untuk semua rekan-rekan media. Dan tanpa perlu berlama-lama lagi, langsung saja kita saksikan bersama video perkenalan dari the new technical advisor for our national football team. Selamat menyaksikan.
Jordi terminakan kembali individual, cruzando la mitad del campo con el balón pegado a los pies, marcaba el segundo gol.
Jordi Cruyff, son of the legendary Johan Cruyff, was born on February 9, 1974. He began his career at Barcelona and played for major clubs like Manchester United, which led by the legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson. Beyond the pitch, Jordi transitioned into coaching and management, leading clubs such as Shenzhen FC and Barcelona. Now, in 2025, he has been appointed as the technical advisor for PSSI. With a modern vision, Jordi is expected to help Indonesia make greater strides in world football. Together with Jordi Cruyff, the transformation of Indonesian football continues for Garuda, rising to the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a big, warm Garuda welcome for the new technical advisor for our national football team, Jordi Cruyff. Hi Jordi, how are you?
Very good, very excited.
Welcome to Indonesia.
Thank you.
So you arrived a couple of days ago on Sunday evening, I believe. So you've had a couple of days to ingest everything. What are some of your first impressions so far being in Indonesia?
Well, the first thing I think we all feel is the unbelievable football passion the country has. You feel it on the street, you feel it everywhere. So I think passion is it's the most important thing when you want to reach a high objective, when you want to grow. Passion is the first thing we need.
And you can already feel that in the first couple of days here, and I'm glad to hear it.
Absolutely. Also, the pressure will come, but that's part of the game.
Absolutely.
Passion, I think it's the most beautiful thing in the game.
Ya, sepertinya dalam 2 hari baru Jordi nyampe di Indonesia, dia sudah merasa seberapa cinta negara kita terhadap sepak bola, dan ini hal yang sangat penting untuk sepak bola. Now, first off, congratulations on being appointed as the new technical advisor for the Indonesia's particular role. Perhaps you can define what the role of a technical advisor entails and what will be your main duties as a technical advisor.
Well, I think it's important to differentiate roles, as you said. I think the day-to-day is obviously the head coach, Petang here, together with his staff. And that's the day-to-day thing, but there's also very important in football is the strategy. The short-term, middle-term, long-term strategy to grow, to get the maximum out of a very big population that you have here, and to try to really grow, to try to find those talents already at a very young age, because then you have a much better national team in the future. So I think it's about, football is not only about the pitch, it's also about making the right strategic decisions to try to take the maximum out of the future.
And basically the infrastructure as well around the entire football industry as a whole for our country, as well as I believe with your extensive network. How do you believe that this will help? Because obviously you've had networks over in Europe, you've had experience in Asia. How do you feel this will actually help you in your role as a technical advisor for Indonesia?
Well, the fact that already from a very young age, having a father who was a football player means as a young kid, you have to keep moving from one country to another. And it gives you a sense of fast adaptation in a positive way. You learn to adapt very quick. You learn to analyze very quick. And I think already in my life, it's one of the things I love the most, to discover new places, new cultures, new ways of thinking, and to try to find a successful formula to get the maximum out of it. And that's one of the things that really attracts me. I remember the day that Patrick signed here, as old teammates, and in the world of football, everybody knows each other. So the first thing I did was kind of analyze what it was, it was a special, a surprising move with a lot of attention. And then you start to analyze a little bit the potential, and then you see there's a lot of potential to grow. And I think that makes it super special.
Great. Sedikit rangkuman dulu ya, karena pertanyaan pertama saya berhubungan sama role Jordi sebagai penasihat teknis untuk PSSI, dan sebenarnya kalau tugas apa yang terjadi di lapangan berhubungan sama pemain, ini adalah tugasnya Coach Patrick Kluivert. Tapi di luar itu juga banyak hal-hal lain yang harus ditangani, seperti development dari pemain sepak bola dari umur yang lebih muda. Dan Jordi sendiri, kenapa dia tertarik sama role ini adalah karena dia melihat Indonesia ini penuh dengan potensi. Tapi potensi ini membutuhkan strategi yang benar. Dan role dia adalah, tugas dia adalah gimana caranya untuk membentuk sebuah strategi untuk short term maupun long term untuk bisa membuat development sepak bola di Indonesia lebih berkembang lagi, apalagi dari umur yang sangat muda. Dan saya juga menanyakan mengenai pengalaman dia, karena dia pengalamannya bukan hanya di satu negara tapi berbagai negara, maupun di Asia atau di Eropa. Dan dia juga merasa bahwa justru jaringan dia sebagai seseorang, bukan hanya mantan pemain tapi mantan pelatih juga, bisa membantu PSSI bisa ada network yang lebih luas lagi. Bukan hanya Bapak Erick Thohir yang harus jalan ke sana sini untuk bertemu pemain sama pelatih atau staff, tapi sekarang dia punya jaringan tersendiri yang bisa menjadi I'd like to ask you a little bit in regards to what are your first things on the agenda for you that you plan on doing. Obviously there's a big match day coming up, but outside of that.
Well, I think it's quite logic, because if you want advice, the first thing you need to do is to analyze. You need to understand the culture, the sport mentality, how to reach objectives, also to show a lot of interest in the local league, to see what are the strong points, what are the points that can be maybe improved, to try to get the maximum out of the players, also for the future. And of course, we do all the decisions. It's a team, federation, of course, the national team coach, Kluivert, with myself. Probably we will look for a sport director or technical director who will be living here day to day. And all of us together in group, we will try to kind of design the right strategy to reach the points Indonesia wants to reach.
Oke, yang saya nanyakan adalah apa sih poin-poin yang utama yang akan di-address ya, terutama dari Jordi di awal, dan salah satu yang pertama yang dia akan lakukan adalah analisa. Dia ingin analisa semua level, dan saya juga sempat ngobrol sama Jordi kemarin, hal yang penting adalah dia ingin ngobrol sama bukan hanya pelatih, tapi pemain, tapi staff juga untuk bisa dapat gambaran yang lebih jelas. Ini infrastrukturnya seperti apa dan strategi ke depan yang harus dibentuk seperti apa juga. Dia juga ingin analisa liga lokal kami juga di Indonesia untuk bisa dapat gambaran pemain lokal kita seperti apa. Dan yang pasti tugas yang utama salah satunya adalah mencari technical director atau director teknis. Now let's actually segue to that since you brought it up. Technical director is a role that has been assigned for you to have input in findings. So you yourself have had obviously much experience in a technical director or director of sports. So your current plan to appoint a technical director in Indonesia, what are your considerations in looking for the right candidate?
Well, I think it has to be somebody who has experience with different countries, different cultures, different strategies. I also think it's imperative that the person can work together with a national team coach from all the ages, and from there on to design the right structure, help in the day-to-day. And I think it's important to have somebody here to really kind of design the strategy and to know exactly where we want to go and how to get there. So I think it's important to have somebody who, again, I repeat, has experience abroad, that he's open-minded, that he's quick to adapt to new places, because every culture is different, and it's important to work together as a group, as I said before also, together with the federation, together with the coaching staff, and all together to try to create the same direction, the same path towards good results.
Common goal.
Yeah.
So yang saya menanyakan adalah role-nya Dirtek, apa sih yang dicari untuk kandidat tersebut, dan yang pasti kalau Jordi ingin kandidat untuk Dirtek ini bisa seseorang yang punya pengalaman di berbagai negara-negara lain di dunia ini, karena dia juga ingin seseorang yang punya pengetahuan yang luas, pengalaman yang luas, dan juga dari kebudayaan juga terekspos sama kebudayaan lain di luar Indonesia saja, dan juga bisa kerjasama sama tim PSSI sama pelatih-pelatih di setiap level untuk membentuk strategi yang tepat untuk semua level bisa menuju ke goal yang sama, yaitu meningkatkan sepak bola di Indonesia. So I want to talk about your personal experience, because you mentioned how it would be good to have a technical director that has a more worldly experience, I suppose, like a more global kind of cultural experience. You yourself have a very interesting background. You obviously are a son of arguably the best Dutch footballer of all time, but you actually started at a young age in Spain. Can you tell us a little bit about how that experience was for you, having played at the youth level in Spain, and actually you make a home in Spain as well?
Yeah, I think that's having a father that moved a lot of countries, played in different places, and the fact is my first language, like my mother language, if I can say this, is Spanish. That was the first language I ever spoke, and that's why I also understand in many cases when we talk about players from different cultures playing for which national team. For me, I think I'm one of the few players who played for the Holland, the Netherlands, Dutch national team without ever having played a game in the Dutch league.
Right.
So I do understand that part. I had the option to play for Spain and also the option to play for the Holland national team. My first language was Spanish. I spent most of my life living in Spain, but I played for Holland. And it's one of those decisions you make with your heart, and you just feel it's the right one, and that's the decision I made.
And how do you feel that helped you be more rounded or complete as a person, both as a person and a footballer?
Well, I think it makes you open-minded. It makes you understanding. It makes you also understand different cultures, different ways of thinking. And to be honest, the Dutch style, normally it's a very beautiful way of playing football, very, trying to dominate, trying to play to win. And together with the Spanish mentality, they have also a very strong winning mentality. So the mix of both is a very interesting mix. Very interesting.
Yang saya menanyakan adalah justru Jordi Cruyff ini punya background yang sangat unik, di mana dia adalah anaknya Johan Cruyff, seorang footballer legendaris dari Belanda, tapi dia dari umur yang sangat muda sudah pindah ke Spanyol dan udah dari Youth Academy-nya di sana dan main bertahun-tahun, bahkan dia pun tinggalnya di sana saat ini juga. Bahasa utama dia juga Spanyol, dan tadi juga sebut bahwa ada fakta menarik di mana dia sebenarnya salah satu pemain Timnas Belanda yang tidak pernah main di Liga Belanda sama sekali. Dan dia ada pilihan untuk main mau di Timnas Spanyol juga bisa, tapi dia lebih memilih dengan hati dan ingin main untuk Belanda. Dan ini menarik buat saya sendiri ya, karena ini adalah banyak yang bisa dicocokin sama Indonesia saat ini juga. Timnas juga penuh dengan pemain lokal dan juga diaspora, dan ini mungkin bisa jadi sesuatu yang sangat relatable buat Jordi. Saya juga ingin tahu apakah ini bisa membantu justru dia dengan role-nya sebagai penasihat teknis, dan dia juga merasa ada banyak kesamaan ya antara sepak bola di Belanda maupun sepak bola di Spanyol, di mana targetnya adalah untuk menang tapi juga main sepak bola yang indah, dan ini semoga bisa membantu dia juga untuk bisa terapkan joint culture ini di Indonesia juga di sepak bola kita di PSSI. I want to go to some of your other worldly experiences, because not only have you spent a lot of time in Europe in some of the best leagues, but you've also had time in Asia. Your time when you were in China, what was your experiences in regards to comparison? How was football in Asia different from what you had experienced prior to that?
Well, I think one of the key points, I think it's the detection of young talents. I think it's a huge country, so it's very difficult to unify criteria, to have the same philosophy for everyone. And I think that's the main difference. When young players make a debut in Barcelona at the age of 17, 18, people just see the game. But there's a lot of invisible work being done already from the age of 7 or 8 years old with these players who just don't appear. It's a development, and the quicker you can find young talent and the earlier you can develop them, the better they will be when they reach the premium age in which they have to play for the club, for the national team. So I think that's one of the key points. But from my experience in Asia, of course, it's you have to adapt. You can't just copy everything. You just need to adapt, to understand different cultures, different ways of thinking, and then you try to unify the idea to try to get the best results. And to be honest, I loved the experience there. It was 2 different clubs for 3 seasons, even though it was a bit in the COVID time, so it was difficult. The leagues were stopped for a while, but I really loved that experience.
Yeah. Yang saya tanyakan adalah pengalaman Jordi saat dia menangani klub di Asia, dan apa sih bedanya sepak bola di Asia yang paling mencolok untuk dia dibandingkan sepak bola di Eropa, dan dia yang terutama adalah developmentnya sepak bola di umur yang muda, dimana kalau di Eropa contohnya yang pasti beliau udah banyak pengalaman di Barcelona, banyak sekali sering kita lihat pemain sepak bola di Barca mungkin debut di umur 17, 18, terus kita lihat wow ini sepak bola yang jago, yang hebat. Tapi sebenarnya di belakang itu sudah ada banyak development bertahun-tahun untuk pemain sepak bola ini sampai ke titik tersebut. Dan itu satu hal yang bisa bisa dilakukan sebagai contoh di Asia juga, di mana pesepak bola bisa mungkin dicari, dididik dengan baik dari umur yang sangat muda, agar mereka saat udah masuk ke umur-umur yang mereka bisa debut, skill levelnya dan lain-lain, dan mentalnya juga sudah siap untuk bisa di level yang lebih tinggi lagi. Real quick, before I give the media chance to ask some questions, obviously with the diaspora that we have here, along with the local players, with your father being who he is, total football is something that I think many countries would love to be able to emulate. how can you bring your personal experience as a technical advisor to give more of a merger or a bridge between our two countries in order to have a better quality of football here in the country?
Well, I think, of course, things don't happen from one day to another. Yes, of course, we come here to try to bring the quickest immediate results that we can, to create the belief, to create the happiness, to give a right answer to all the passion that people have for football here and for the country. But I think it also takes a little bit of time. You can't just expect in one day things change. But I do think the decisions are being made. Good players who have choices, they choose to play for their roots, for this country. And I think people can see it both ways. It's happening everywhere. It's a very general thing nowadays in football.
It's true.
But the fact is there's a lot of young talents at a young age who might still have an opportunity to play for the country that they've basically playing for many years. But still they have to make a choice and they choose to respect their roots, the parents' roots, the grandparents' roots. And I think that's very positive. And I think people have to see it in a very positive, admiring way because they follow the heart. And that's probably the best
Similar to
decision
what
you
you
can
did.
make. Yeah, it happened to me. Without playing in Holland, speaking more Spanish and Dutch, but I played for the Holland national team because that's what was my heart saying. And I had a beautiful choice, Spain or Holland. But I chose Holland. So I think that's a very positive step. It means the belief is there. It means these players, they want to come here and they want this country to be proud of them. And I think it's something we should really respect and admire because it's a beautiful thing to follow your family's roots. I respect it a lot.
Great, well said. Basically, this is just the first step in your appointment as a technical advisor. Obviously, this is more of a long-term plan as well in regards to the development. So we will look forward as well to you having a team around you as well to help continue this strategy ahead. Yang saya tanya adalah sekarang dengan kedatangan diaspora kita, pemain-pemain yang sudah bergabung sama Timnas dengan Total Football dari Belanda, gimana caranya untuk lebih menjembati dua negara ini agar dengan kehadiran technical advisor yang baru bisa lebih menyatu lagi. Dan justru dia juga karena pengalaman dia sangat mirip juga, dia main di negara lain, dia bahasa utamanya juga Spanyol, tapi dia akhirnya memilih untuk main untuk Timnas Belanda. Nah ini dia bisa relate sama pemain-pemain diaspora yang punya keturunan Indonesia yang akhirnya walaupun tinggal dan main di luar negeri, di negara lain, tapi memilih untuk membela negara kita Indonesia. Dan ini bisa jadi hal yang positif yang bisa menyatukan Timnas Indonesia. Dan yang terakhir adalah ini adalah titik pertama aja karena ini adalah long term plan yang durasi panjang di mana nanti akan ada role lain yang terisi terutama Dirtek dan selain itu akan ada supporting staff juga untuk membantu perkembangan sepak bola di Indonesia. Saya nggak mau ambil waktu terlalu banyak karena saya ingin kasih waktu untuk rekan-rekan media juga. Jadi seperti biasa saya akan bagi karena ada 3 section. Saya akan mulai dari sebelah kiri dulu. Terima kasih. Yes.
Bona tarde, Jordi. Welcome to Indonesia. My name is Verzi from Kompas.com. You left Barcelona with glowing reviews after playing an important role in the reconstruction of the club under such difficult situations. Now you are tasked with opening the way for a new era of Indonesian football. How massive do you see the challenges ahead of you? Second, every time we talk about Indonesian football, the word often used is its potential. What are your ideas to unlock that potential into real and actual achievements? And thirdly, one of your job desks is to help the PSSI in finding a technical director. Can you elaborate what will happen next when the said technical director is found? Will you continue in your role, and how long is your contract with the PSSI? Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Yeah, one by one. So the first one in regards to the challenges. Obviously, there are many challenges ahead, and how will you plan to address them? Basically, the challenges that lay ahead. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of work ahead of you. So how do you plan on addressing your challenges?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to analyze, to study everything, to talk with a lot of professional coaches that and players that are playing in the league to understand and to get a better idea of understanding the players' mentality, the sport mentality, the physical side, their idea of football, just to get a more broad idea. And from there on, of course, to try to study how we can find improvement points. I think that's vital. But on the other hand, also, we have 2 very important games coming up, or actually 4 games in the coming months, which are very important, and try to help and support the coaching staff with whatever they need to try to help to, in any way possible, to try to get those results going. Okay. And also from there on, just to get a better knowledge of how things are here.
Right.
I think the fact that, as you said before, when you've traveled many countries, different cultures, you learn quick, you see things quick.
Okay. And you also, the other question was in regards to potential. A lot of times potential is mentioned. We do have a lot of potential here in Indonesia.
Yeah.
How do you plan? What are some of your plans or steps in order to help realize this potential?
Well, I think the main thing is to also like to work together. It's not a one-man's decision.
Right.
It's a group. It's a group decision making, and to try to find the best way to improve the locals. The local league, the local ideas, to fit it together with the ambition of the country, of the federation. So I think it's, without going too much in detail, first we need to study and to learn as quick as possible, and from there on to try to find the right strategy. And that's why it's also important to have like the technical director who's here, who will be living here every week, seeing everything, communicating with clubs, communicating with everyone, and to find the right path. And I'm very positive about it, and I'm also grateful to the confidence that Mr. Toeir and the Federation have put in me. And of course also Patrick with the staff. And from there on to give it 100%.
Okay,
Football is 24/7. You need to be all the time, you're thinking about it.
And I get addressing the youth development is actually one way to realize that potential as well. Yeah. The last was in regards to the technical director. The question was, what happens after the technical director comes on? Will you still have your role? But I think we already mentioned that this is going to be a long-term
yes,
assignment.
of course. I think, as we said before, things don't happen in one day. It's a process. There's a short term, there's a medium term, and a long-term vision that we have to follow. We have to implement. And I'm the kind of person that when I go for a project, I go full.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. In regards to the answer, pertanyaannya mengenai gimana menanganinya, sepertinya rangkuman dari jawaban tadi adalah intinya dia harus bekerjasama. Ini bukan hanya satu orang yang kerja, tapi kerjasama dengan PSSI, para pelatih dari semua level, dari U23, U20, U17, dan juga tim senior. Dan juga dia ingin ngobrol sama pemain-pemain dari liga lokal juga untuk gimana caranya menggarap potensi yang sudah ada. Tapi terutama dia harus pelajari dulu semuanya karena beliau baru aja datang ke Indonesia. Dan mengenai technical director, walaupun ada technical director, ini ada role yang terpisah ya. Jadi sekali lagi Jordi Cruyff di sini untuk long term sebagai technical advisor. Tapi walaupun udah ada technical director, itu role yang beda lagi. Itu orang yang akan tetap di Indonesia, tinggal di sini dan selalu connected sama semua level playing level dari Timnas Indonesia, di mana Jordi akan tetap berconnect melalui jaringan aja, tapi tetap akan stay on sebagai technical advisor. Thank you for the question. Terima kasih. Ya, Mbak, silakan.
Hello, Jordi. I am Nia from National Radio Station RRI. I have some question, but for first, welcome again in Indonesian football. For the first, Indonesian Federation PSSI now has a campaign or goals that we know as Garuda Mendunia, which means that one Indonesia football wants to bring PSSI wants to bring Indonesian football to the global stage. As your experience in the global stage of Indonesian football industry, what is the main or big value or value that will play big roles for Indonesian football to reach that goals? And
very closely together with the head coach, with Xavi, and finishing in that way on a high, winning the league, and that was my last experience there. But I think it's vital. In the end, 4 eyes see more than 2, and working together, I think that's the key thing, to be able to speak openly about things and to try to unify the ideas. And I think, of course, it's also of a vital importance that also in all the ages categories of a national team, they work together to find the right path for those players, to make the right decisions, what moments one player plays there or in another team. And I think the steps have already been made. We already see, Gerald is also there and Patrick is there. They work together, they know each other, they have similar football vision. So it always makes the process a lot easier than everybody just doing their own thing with their own ideas. That doesn't unify. So I think the steps are clearly being made already.
Ya, untuk jawabannya pertanyaan adalah seberapa dekat dan gimana cara kerjasamanya Jordi sama pelatih-pelatih di setiap level maupun di senior ataupun di U23, 20, 17 dan balik lagi ke pengalaman dia waktu di Barcelona ya. Dia walaupun kerjasama sama head coach emang sangat dekat juga mengenai keputusan-keputusan pemain yang mana yang akan diturunkan. Ini emang ada sebuah dinamis yang harus dekat ya antara seorang technical advisor ataupun technical director sama pelatih juga untuk bisa ambil keputusan-keputusan tersebut bersama-sama sebagai sebuah satu tim, bukan hanya satu orang yang ambil keputusan ini dan ini gimana caranya untuk bisa mencari jalan yang terbaik ke depannya dan yang pasti dia akan melakukan hal yang sama di Indonesia di mana dia akan mendekat sama Patrick Kluivert right now, especially in regards to where we are ranked and the opportunity that we have going ahead. Are there any kind of steps that you can help out with in regards to that?
Well, I understand the questions, of course, and I wish I could be much more open, but I think, when you have a strategy, you announce things when decisions have been made. Yeah. So we're still in the process of kind of studying the situation to find the right person, for example, to be the technical director, to be here, to work together with the staff that's already here also, and to try to get the maximum. But of course, if you look at what's the most important for the football, it's obviously the coming games, because this is really where the most of the focus has to be. And the rest, it will come. It will come in the coming weeks. Hopefully we can start to announce a little bit more about the ideas that we have and the steps we're going to make.
Oke. Dan untuk pertanyaan kedua mengenai short term plan ya balik lagi ke technical director ya, kalau nanti akan ada technical director bisa jauh lebih jelas lagi, tapi mungkin untuk sementara karena kandidat tersebut belum bisa kita kasih tahu siapa aja, itu sebenarnya sebagian dari strategi yang lebih short term ya, gimana caranya untuk bisa mencapai goal-goal tersebut. Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya semuanya, karena waktu kita sudah selesai, tapi kita akan ada sesi untuk ambil gambar dulu, ambil foto. Dan untuk ini kita ingin mengundang Bapak Erik juga, silakan ke panggung. We'd like to invite Patrick as well, Coach Patrick, if you join us on the stage, Pak Erik Thohir. Dan untuk rekan-rekan media dipersilakan untuk ambil posisinya, untuk bisa ngambil gambar, dipersilakan. Ya. Oke, kita ambil dari tengah dulu ya. We'll look in the middle first. Saya will look in the middle. Rekan-rekan yang di tengah dulu ya. 3, 2, 1, we'll have the middle one more time, 3, 2, 1, and one more time in the middle, 3, 2, and 1. And we could have a left on the left side. We'll look left this way where we are, yes. All right, 3, 2, and 1. One more time, 3, 2, and 1. The last one, 3, 2, and 1. And finally on the right side, there we go, okay. 3, 2, 1, one more time, 3, 2, and 1. One more, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, everyone. And once again, a big round of applause for Jordi Cruyff. We'll have the two together now. Pak Erik and Jordi Cruyff. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. One more. 3, 2, and 1. On the left side, can we have one on the left? Yeah. Media on the left, please. Yes. Yes. 3, 2, 1. One more. Last one. 3, 2, and 1. And finally, on the right side, please. 3, 2, 1, and last one, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Pak Erik. Thank you, Patrick. And of course, thank you, Jordi Cruyff. Welcome to Timnas Indonesia. Big round of applause for Jordi Cruyff. Dan Terima kasih, kami persilakan untuk kembali ke tempat. Dengan demikian maka berakhirlah acara dari Press Conference New Technical Advisor Timnas Indonesia. Terima kasih atas kehadirannya. Setelah ini kami persilakan para tamu undangan serta rekan media untuk bisa menikmati hidangan di jam buka puasa. Kita akan ada buka puasa bersama di area foyer. Jadi sekali lagi untuk rekan-rekan media yang menjalankan ibadah puasa dipersilakan untuk bergabung sama kita di foyer setelah 6.15 untuk kita buka puasa bersama. Terima kasih. Dan nama saya Paul Palele, senang sekali bisa menemani Anda semua di sore ini. Semoga bisa ketemu lagi di lain acara. Terima kasih.